Call halal Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Yahweh Kakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for pushing 100% truth through rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect that have been scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. Shalom. This is Matazal Lacham, and I was watching this video came across my feed. Talking about racism exposed. What are you talking about, right? Because this is my first time I had heard about it. And I'm like, wow, okay, well, that's nothing new. Everybody knows Donald Trump hates black people with this MAGA bullshit, but I didn't think anything about this, just blew my hair back. So, but before I start the video, what I want to do is I want to go to, okay, yeah, because I went into, let's go into fair use. Okay, I want to get a fair use disclaimer because I don't want to, infringe on the brother's information, right? Fair use, copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing, and I don't want to infringe on the brother's information that he brought out because he found out about all of this stuff. I didn't know. It came across my feed. I watched it, and I'm trying to share the same information that he made with other individuals as well. Okay, that's it. I ain't making no money off of this video. They shut me down for making money off of any video on any channel. Hell, they did that 3 years ago. So I ain't gonna make no money. Okay. Right? Non-profit educational personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Fair use is a doctrine in the United States copyright law that allows limited use of copyrighted material without requiring permission from the rights holders, such as commentary, criticism, news, reporting, research, teaching, or scholarship. Okay, it provides the legal non-licensed citation or incorporation of copyrighted material in another author's work under a four-factor balancing test. Okay? And that's it. Okay? It's non-profit educational personal use. That's it. Right? News reporting, comment, criticism, scholarship, education, and teaching. That's it. Okay.
March 25th, 2026 is the International Day of Remembrance of the Victims of Slavery. The one day a year the world sets aside specifically to honor the millions of Africans who were kidnapped, chained, and shipped across the ocean. And on that day, that exact day, the United States of America walked into the United Nations and voted no. Not abstained, no. 123 countries stood up and said the transatlantic slave trade was the gravest crime against humanity in recorded history. 3 countries said no: America, Argentina, Israel. That is the company this nation chose to keep on the International Day of Remembrance for Slavery Victims. Let that sit. Researchers have already calculated exactly what is owed: between $14 and $26 trillion. Not millions, trillions.
Okay. The reparations that we're going to get from the Son of the Most High God in heaven, whose name is Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Okay? The reparations we're going to get, right? Let's go get a biblical scripture on the reparations we're going to get. Okay? Jeremiah. No, let's start at Ezekiel. Chapter 25. Right? Verse 12. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, because Edom has acted against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, and has greatly offended, and has incurred grievous guilt by taking revenge on them. Therefore thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, I will also stretch out mine hand against Edom, and I will cut off and destroy man and beast. I will make it desolate and Teman, from Teman even to Dedan, and they shall fall by the sword. Modern day sword is weapons, right? So spiritual weapons against these devils is spiritual power, right? Verse 14, KJV, and I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel, and they shall do in Edom according to mine anger and according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, saith the Lord. So our reparations is going to be these devils going into chains, right? Psalms 149, verse 6. Let the high praises of the Most High, Yahweh, be in their mouth, and a two-edged sword in their hand, to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron, to execute upon them the judgment written, this honor have all his saints, praise ye the Lord. Who are the saints of the Most High, right? Psalms 148, verse 14. He also exalteth the horn of his people, the praise of all his saints, even of the children of Israel, a people near unto him, praise ye the Lord. Okay? Praise for all his godly ones, for the people of Israel, a people near unto him. Hallelujah, Yahweh. Hallelujah, Yahweh. Right? So these devils are going to pay for this bullshit. That's the reparations. Keep your money. Keep your gold. We're going to make you dig all the gold and silver, diamonds, sapphires, and everything, because all the elements of the earth shall be melted with great fervent heat, as it is written in 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 10. And after it's cooled down, we're going to have you devils with continual employment, like it says in Ezekiel. As a matter of fact, let's go get it. Ezekiel chapter 39. Okay, let me just type this in. Come on. Continual employment. Boom. Ezekiel 39 and 14. And they shall sever out men of continual employment, passing through the land to bury with the passengers those that remain upon the face of the earth, to cleanse it after the end of 7 months shall they search. Okay? And the passengers that pass through the land, when they seeth a man's bone, then shall he set up a sign by it, till the buriers have buried it in the valley of Hamon Gog. And also the name of the city shall be Hamanoah. Thus shall they cleanse the land. Right? So we're going to force you devils to bury all the dead bodies that you're about to put upon the face of the earth. Okay? In this war in the so-called Middle East, which is Western Asia. Right? And 7 months shall the house of Israel be burying them, and they shall cleanse, and that they may cleanse the land. Now the house of Israel, meaning all of the Israelites that have been saved, that have been changed into what it means to be, into another meaning of what it means to be human. We're going to be superhuman. We're going to be extraterrestrial instead of terrestrial flesh. We're going to be extraterrestrial flesh. Okay? And we're going to have slaves. The saints of the Most High that receive this salvation are going to put the king nobles in chains, and their kings with nobles in fetters of iron. Okay? This is the judgment that's already been written thousands of years before you ever put your goddamn hands on us. Okay? So you're finished. Okay? Already. They were just waiting. Everything was already set up so you could put your shoe in your forefathers, put your foot in your forefathers' shoe, and then take the same steps they did, which you did. Congratulations, you Edomites, and you heathen nations. Yep, all the people of the land shall bury them, and it shall be to them a renown that day that I shall be glorified, saith the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. See? So, you devils are going to be continually employed, okay? Trust me, you're going to find out what hard work means all the time. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
America has paid reparations to Japanese Americans, paid native tribes. Germany is still writing checks to Holocaust survivors right now.
Those Holocaust survivors, right? Holocaust, actually, because there wasn't even 6 million people on the face of the fucking earth that call themselves Jews. At the time, from the 1938 almanac, there was only, what, 4.8 million on a global scale. As a globe of the entire a global compass of the earth, there was only 4.8 or 5.8 million Jews calling themselves Jews on a global scale, scattered into every nation. So they told a goddamn lie saying that the Nazis destroyed 6 million Jews. They said that in World War One, which caused America to go off into World War One, or the British anyway, to bring down the hegemony of the Russian czars. Okay, that's all that shit was about. Is to just take money, okay, and set up their own puppet government, which was communism. Okay, at the time. Okay, that's all that was about. And they went in with that same bullshit of 6 million Jews. The Russian czars did this and did that. You goddamn lie. You know? Okay? And, see, so they've been planning and doing this. They come with the same lie, out of the same playbook every time.
In 2026, but when it comes to black people, this country has been running the same play for over 160 years. New decade, new spokesman, same answer, same excuse, same result. Today, we are going through every single one of those excuses. The 1865 version, the 1989 version, the 2019 version, and the version they just delivered at the United Nations this week. Because this is not a new story. It is the same story on a loop. And every time you hear the next excuse, I want you to feel exactly what it is. A choice. A deliberate, documented, repeated choice to protect the money and deny the debt. That should not just make you sad. That should make you furious.
Let's go get another definition. Right? Let's go get another definition. Alrighty. Racism. Definition. Right? Racism. Racism is the prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism directed against a person or a people based on their membership in a particular racial or ethnic group. Right? Define prejudice. Prejudice is a preconceived, usually unfavorable opinion or judgment about a person or a group formed without just grounds or knowledge of the facts, often based on stereotypes and social conditioning. Right? Hold on. Wait a minute. Go back. Racism definition, right? Discrimination. Hold on. Discrimination is the unjust or prejudicial treatment of individuals or groups based on characteristics such as race, gender, age, religion, or disability. It involves actions, either direct or indirect, that disadvantage the specific people by denying opportunities or treating them less favorably, often manifesting as harassment, exclusion, or unfair bias. Okay? All right? That's exactly what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing.
That should not just make you sad. That should make you furious. Let us start with the moment itself. March 25th, 2026 is the International Day of Remembrance of the Victims of Slavery. That is the day the UN General Assembly chose to pass Resolution A/80/L.48. Ghana's President John Mahama stood up and led this vote on behalf of the entire 54-member African group. He talked about the millions of Africans who were kidnapped, chained, and shipped across the ocean to build wealth for other people. The final count was 123 yes votes, 3 no votes, and 52 abstentions, mostly European countries sitting on their hands. But America did not sit on its hands. America raised its hand and said no. That same day, there was a wreath ceremony at the African Burial Ground National Monument in New York City. Hundreds of years ago, enslaved black people were buried in that ground because they were not allowed to be buried anywhere else. The world was paying respect, and America was across town voting against their humanity. The man who cast that no vote was U.S. Deputy Ambassador Dan Negrea, and he did not hide behind silence. He went on record. He said, and I want you to hear this clearly, the United States does not recognize a legal right to reparations for historical wrongs that were not illegal under international law at the time they occurred. Translation, we stole from you legally, so we owe you nothing.
You goddamn devils, man. Oh my God. Yeah. John chapter 10, verse 10. Right? The thief comes only in order to steal and to unalive and to destroy. Okay? That's all I want to get out of that verse. The thief. They're thieves. Okay? They're thieves. These Edomite Caucasians are thieves. He just admitted to the entire world, we're thieves. We stole from you legally and we ain't giving you nothing back. Yeah, what you gonna do about it? We stole it from you fair and square. See? And with that attitude, it goes back to the birthright, doesn't it? Genesis chapter 27, verse 38. And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept like a bitch, right? And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above, and by thy sword shalt thou live. And that's exactly the reason why they went through all these different continents, stealing natural resources from different continents and different nationalities of people, and subjugating them by the sword into indentured servitude or slavery. Okay? In order to build up their kingdoms in each country they went to. When they went into these countries, they enslaved the people and stole those people's natural cultural heritage and their identity. Right? That's what they do. Right? Let's go get it. Micah chapter 2, right? Verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. And they went to the United Nations and practiced the power that they have in their hands to say and vote no on recognizing slavery as the greatest atrocity in history. You motherfuckers, man. Verse 2, my point. And they covet fields and take them by violence. Genesis 27 says, and thou shalt live by the sword. Anyone who lives by the sword shall die by the sword. Right? In red letter, by the mouth of the Son of the Most High God, right? Whose name is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. He's the Father. Yahushai HaMashiach is the Son. They're two separate entities. There's two separate individuals. Okay? One is the Father and one is the Son. Okay? Somebody, now you can name your son, if you're a man, after you as a junior or the third or the fourth, but he is not you because you made those children after you, like the Most High made his only begotten son, okay, because it pleased him to do so. Now, that's beside the point. And they covet fields and take them by violence. To covet, what is that? It is a sin, isn't it? Right? And they covet. Come on.
Strong's H2530. Hamad.
To desire, to take pleasure in, to delight in. Right? To greatly desire. To lust after. Okay? To desire things. See? And take them by violence in houses, and take them away, so they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. Like I said before, they go into your land, claim that they are you, once they have subjected you into indentured servitude and slavery by the force of the sword. They take those lands by violence, right? The kingdom of heaven suffereth violence, and the violent taketh it by force, right? This is what they do. The kingdom of heaven on earth, as it is in the heavens above, are the inheritance of the Most High God, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, who are his children, the children of Israel, whom these devils sold into slavery. Like it says in Joel chapter 3, verse 2, okay, or verse 3, Salakia, they have sold a boy for an harlot and a girl for wine that they might drink. And the African nations that stood up saying that they should recognize this as a great atrocity, are Tyre and Zidon. Okay? Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, against this family do I devise an evil from which ye shall not remove your necks, neither shall you go haughtily, for this time is evil. Right? So the Most High God looks at these devils as a family, the family of Edom, which includes Amalek, the grandson of Esau, Edom. He's an illegitimate grandson, but he's a grandson nevertheless, because he wasn't born by one of Esau's wives, which would make him a legitimate heir, but an illegitimate son by a concubine or a handmaid. Well, not so much as a handmaid, but more or less like a concubine, okay, which would be like a second wife, a girlfriend. She's not the wife, so she's not the child that comes from her is not eligible to be heir with the rest of the kids that come from the wife. But this is like a second wife, like a girlfriend. Okay, so Amalek is illegitimate to start with. Yet he says, America says, put Israel first, and Israel is filled with Amalekites. You see, that's the reason why they're the largest welfare state in the United States. They're the largest welfare state in the United States, man. Those little individuals that wear those round, those dress in black with the little, that look like a dirty rat, that got rat teeth and wear glasses all the time. You know, got the little curls on the side of their head and hump a wall. They got a towel wrapped around their fucking head, around their neck all the time. Yeah, those are Amalekites. Okay, those are they call themselves unorthodox Jews. Or Orthodox Jews, whatever the fuck you want to call them. Okay? Jews come from the tribe of Judah, right? The tribe of Judah consists of Negroes. Those individuals there are imposters. But that's beside the point. Let's go back over here to, where was I at? I was at Genesis chapter 27. Okay, verse 40. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, which they do now, they have the dominion, thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. So keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, they no longer have to keep, because they were forced to keep the law, statutes, and commandments by the force of the sword under King David and King Solomon. But under Ben-Hadad, under King Solomon, you know, they broke away. They broke the yoke from off their neck, and they started worshiping false gods and idols from that point to this day. Okay? And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. Okay, AMP. So Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing with which his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are very near. And okay, so my father's going to die soon. Then I will kill my brother Jacob. Okay? This is a perpetual hatred, man. And it always goes back to the birthright. Right? Let's go down here. Genesis 25, verse 24. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. The first came out red all over like an hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. Now, as far as the birthright, let's go up one. Right? Let's go up to verse 22. And the children struggled together within her, which is Rebekah, the wife of Isaac, the son of Abraham, friend to the Most High God. Okay? Had to put a little bit of genealogy in there so you understand where I'm coming from in context. And the children struggled together within her, and she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. Right? The children struggled together within her, kicking and shoving one another. And she said, if it is so that the Lord has heard our prayer, then why am I this way? So she went to inquire of the Lord, praying for an answer. Right? So she went to, at that time, which would be a seer. A seer is another word for prophet. Okay? There have always been prophets here on the face of the earth. Okay? Verse 23, and the Lord said to her, the founders of two nations are in your womb, and the separation of two nations has begun in your body. The one people shall be stronger than the other, and the older shall serve the younger. Okay? This is a biblical prophecy from the mouthpiece of the Lord on the face of the earth. Like it says in Amos chapter 3, verse 7, surely the Lord God Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets. So she went to a prophet or a seer to inquire of the Lord. Why? We pray to the Lord just like they would do to a high priest, okay, and keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, going to Jerusalem once a year to give alms and sacrifices to the Lord for the sins that they committed all that year before. You see what I'm saying? It's the same thing. It's never changed. Malachi chapter 3, verse 6, I am the Lord thy God, I change not. Therefore ye sons of Jacob are not consumed. Okay? The Lord doesn't change. So he set up a certain way things are done on the earth that doesn't change. Okay? So this biblical prophecy doesn't change. And the Lord said unto her, two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and one people shall be stronger than the other, and the elder shall serve the younger. Okay? When her days to be delivered, blah, 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 Esau came out red all over like an hairy garment. Thus he called his name Esau. And after that, his brother came out. Now let's go down here to the birthright, right? Genesis chapter 25, verse 29. And Jacob sowed pottage, and Esau came from the field. Okay? Let's read it AMP. I think it's better. Jacob had cooked reddish brown lentil stew one day when that reddish brown lentil stew is the same as Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison. Let's go find out what venison is. So this way we could break that down. Okay? Of venison. Right? Venison. Hunting. Game. Game hunted. Provision. Food. Food supply. Victuals. Provision. Food. Okay? Catcheth food. If you got to catch food. Venison. Venison. Okay? If I could go to a venison is deer. Right? Boom. Venison. And it pulls up a picture of a deer. Okay? Okay. Isaac liked this. This is the stuff he likes to eat. Back straps, neck trim meat, shoulder, front shanks, brisket, and ribs. Okay? That's deer meat. That's venison. Right? Hold on. Going back to biblical definitions now. Okay? And Jacob sowed pottage. So Jacob had cooked reddish brown lentil stew. Okay? He put lentils. Okay? Let's go over stick with KJV, and then we'll go over there. And Jacob sowed pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint, because he didn't catch anything. He was out hunting. He was a man of the field, and he didn't catch anything. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage. So if it was red pottage, that means that it was still bleeding. Okay? It wasn't fully cooked. It was raw. Okay? He probably didn't get a goddamn chance to put it in the pot. Okay? Let's find out. Let's go to interlinear. And Jacob sowed pottage, right? So like here, what is sod? To boil up, to seethe, right? To boil, to seed. Okay? So, to seethe, primitive root. To be insolent, to be proud, okay? Whatever. To cook. Presumptuously to sod, okay? All right. So, that's what the brother was doing. He was boiling some water. And Jacob boiled water for pottage, right? And Esau came in from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore his name was called Edom. Okay? And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright. Say it again. And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright. AMP. Jacob answered, first sell me your birthright, the rights of a firstborn. Right? In later times, this was the right of the firstborn to take over as head of the family and to receive a double share of the inheritance. Deuteronomy chapter 21, verse 17. The rewards given to Jacob appear to have been given even greater. Genesis 27, verse 37. Furthermore, in Ish tradition, it was reported that before the tabernacle was set up, sacrifices were offered by the firstborn of a family. Okay? Uh-oh. What the hell, man? All right. Boom. Hold on, man. Can we shut that off now? Okay. All right. And Esau said, Behold, I am at the point to die, and what profit of this birthright shall do to me? Esau said, Look, I'm about to die if I do not eat soon, so of what use is this birthright to me? Jacob said, Swear an oath to me today that you are selling it to me for this food. So he swore an oath to him and sold his birthright. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and lentil stew, right? Okay. Pottage of lentils. Gave him lentils along with venison in the pot. Just put it in there. It was red, so it was still bleeding, right? And Jacob gave Esau bread and lentil stew, and he ate and drank, got up, and went on his way. In this way, Esau scorned his birthright. KJV, then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink, and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. Okay? Now, an oath. Boom. Hold on, let me see if I can. Right? Right? Okay. Look at here. Let's start at Genesis 26 and 28. And they said, We certainly saw that the Lord was with thee, and we said, Let there be now an oath betwixt us, even betwixt us and thee, and let us make a covenant with thee. Right? And Joseph took an oath of the children of Israel, saying, God will surely visit you, and you shall carry up my bones from hence. Then shall an oath of the Lord be between them both, that he hath not put his hand unto his neighbor's goods, and the owner of it shall accept thereof, he shall not make it good. And he shall not make it good, right? Okay. Or Leviticus 5 and 4. Or if a soul swear, pronouncing with his lips to do evil or to do good, whatsoever it be that a man shall pronounce with an oath, and it be hid from him, when he knoweth of it, he shall be guilty in one of these. Okay? Numbers chapter 30, verse 2. Salaka. If a man vow a vow unto the Lord, or swear an oath to bind his soul with a bond, he shall not break his word. He shall do according to all that proceedeth out of his mouth. That's what I was looking for. Okay? So, the God says Esau sold his birthright by an oath. He swore. Okay? So this perpetual hatred that these devils have for us is a perpetual hatred, and because that Esau swore an oath, and the Most High makes him keep it. Right? Hebrews chapter 12, verse 16, lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. The Most High calls him profane because he's outside of the temple. He can't keep his word. Okay? He's unclean. Okay? And a fornicator, he's a spiritual fornicator. He spiritually fornicates with all dibble and dabble with magic and false gods and idols and all kinds of miscellaneous bullshit. Okay? He believes in karma. He don't believe in the word of the Most High God at all. He hates the Most High God. He does. He hates God. And those individual Edomite Caucasians out there that say that they love God, but they say they love God, but they will not do what he says. Right? Like it says in Psalms 50, verse 16. Okay, let's go get it. Psalms 50, right? Where am I at? Verse 16. Right? But unto the wicked the Most High saith, What hast thou to do to declare my statutes, that thou shouldst take my covenant in thy mouth? Right? What is that covenant? An oath, which is the law to keep the law. Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. Here it says, because the Most High God designated Esau as the wicked in Malachi chapter 1, verse 3 and 4. We'll go get that next. But unto the wicked the Most High saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldst take my covenant in thy mouth, seeing as thou hatest instruction and castest my words behind thee? See, they say the law's done away with, right? Okay. Now, who's the wicked? Malachi chapter 1, verse 3. And I've hated Esau. Okay, let's start at the top in case you missed it. The burden of the word of the Lord to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, saith the Lord, in capital letters, which is, okay. I have loved you, saith the Lord, right? Okay. Move that out of the way. Without the Masoretic text vowel points above these dots and dashes, above and below, it would be called Yah-ha-wah-ha, Yahweh. That would be the correct pronunciation. Okay, not Jehovah. Those vowel points effectively change the pronunciation of the name. Okay, from Yahweh to Jehovah. You see, it doesn't make any sense. But that's what these Edomites do. They change things to their benefit, to the detriment of everyone else by their thieves. Okay? They stole the Assyrian script Hebrew. They hijacked it and then changed it. You see? All right. I have loved you, saith the Lord. Wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord? Yet I loved Jacob, and I've hated Esau. Who said this? Saith the Lord. Saith the Lord. Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau, saith the Lord. So you saying God loves everybody is a goddamn lie. Okay? By default. Okay? So this is where the perpetual hatred of Esau, Edom, of Jacob, his brother, stems from the birthright to the blessing that was taken from him. Okay? And where he swore he would kill his brother and unalive him after the death of his father, okay, unto this day. It has been a perpetual hatred that's always been there, okay? But in comparison with my love for Jacob, I have hated Esau, Edom, and I've made his mountains a wasteland and given his inheritance to the jackals of the wilderness, okay? Right? Which would be the heathen nations, okay? Wild brute beasts. The Most High looks at all the heathen nations as wild brute beasts because they do not have the law, statutes, and commandments that were given them by the Most High. There was only one nation of people that was given the law, statutes, and commandments, and they were Israelites. Okay? Okay? Romans chapter 9, verse 3. For I could wish that myself were accursed from Hamashiach, for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh. My brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh. For my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh. According to the flesh. Okay? Of my brothers, my natural kinsmen. Of my brothers, my natural kinsmen, who are Israelites, to whom belongs the adoption as sons, the glory, the special covenants with Abraham, Moses, and Jacob, okay? The giving of the law, the system of temple worship, and the original promises, right? Who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption, and the glory, and the covenants, and the giving of the law, and the services of the Most High, right? And the promises, okay? You have to be an Israelite according to the flesh before you can become a spiritual Israelite according to the Spirit. These Edomites have been telling the goddamn lie so long they actually believe it. And they've been going to country, continent to continent, stealing people's natural resources. Let's go to Micah chapter 2, okay, verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. This was a devising of iniquity about this video, right? When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. It was in the power of the hand of the Edomite nations, instead of sitting on their hands, to also acknowledge that the atrocity and the genocide of the so-called Africans taken from Africa was the greatest Holocaust on the face of the earth. But they can't do that because they said that the Holocaust was the greatest atrocity against humankind on the face of the earth. So there's two different holocausts here going on, and there can only be one above the other. So Esau chose his holocaust that he created and made up over the actual holocaust of an indigenous population of people that was done to them on a global scale. You see, it was global, this transatlantic slave trade. The children of Israel were sold as harlots and girls for wine that they might drink, as it is written in the book of Joel chapter 3, verse 3. See? And Tyre and Sidon was, like I said before earlier in the video, that they were the nation that stood up for all of this madness. They were the ones that sold us to these heathen devils. Okay, let's go get it. Joel chapter 3, verse 6. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians. Okay, who are the Grecians? Okay. The Grecians are Ionians. Okay. Hold on. They were supposedly the descendants of Javan. Okay. And Javan was one of the sons of Japheth. Right? So this is how where these devils telling the goddamn lies, saying that they're the sons of Japheth, which they're not. Okay. They're Edomites. Okay. I wish I can prove it better for you, but okay, let's see. The sons of the Ionians. Selects web search. The Ionians. Who are they? The Ionians were one of the traditional four major tribes of ancient Greece alongside the Dorians, the Aeolians, and the Achaeans. The Ionian dialect was one of the three major linguistic divisions of the Hellenic world, with the Dorian and Aeolian dialects. Okay? What is the Hellenic world? Okay? Web search. Hellenic world. Okay? Can you handle it? I guess it can't handle it. Okay. I'm gonna type that in. Hellenic world. Or I'll just type in ancient. Ah, damn, I misspelled it. Okay. Hellenistic period. In classical antiquity, the Hellenistic period covers the time in Greece, Eastern Mediterranean, and Middle Eastern history, following the classical Greece between the death of Alexander the Great in 323 BC and the death of Cleopatra VII in 30 BC, in which all these regions were under the influence of Greek leadership, culture, and language as a result of Alexander's conquest. Okay? So, the children of Israel were Hellenized to speak Greek. Timothy in the New Testament, his father was an Israelite, okay, that spoke Greek and partook in the Grecian customs of during the Hellenistic period. Okay? Now, Timothy lived his life as a Greek, but he knew that his father bloodline on the patriotic side of the patriarchy, okay, was an Israelite that had been forced by the force of the sword by the Grecians at that time, who were Edomites, who stole the land from Javan, who was the son of Japheth, okay, because that's what these Edomites do. They go from continent to continent to continent, stealing natural resources, claiming to be you, and you are them, and then enslave you and make you do whatever they say. That's what this whole video is about. You see? About the Hellenistic period, right? That's the devil the Bible speaks of, right? To the Grecians, right? That ye may remove them far from their border, right? The children of Judah and the children of Jerusalem. That, Now, Tyre and Zidon were shipping cities. Okay? They were shipping ports that that used import and export goods in and out of the country. Okay, and that's how they made their money, because they were Phoenician shipping port cities. Okay, so they decided to sell us, the children of Judah and the children of Jerusalem. They sold us to these Edomite goddamn devils. That's the reason how we got over here. Okay, as far as the children of Judah. Now the children of Jerusalem, most of them were already over here in this land. When they took this land, they had Amerigo Vespucci that came here first. Marco Polo came over here before that, and then let's see, what's his name? Christopher Columbus, or Cristobal Colon. Okay, that motherfucker came over here, okay, in 1492, and never put his sword down. And it was over 250 million different indigenous population of people from sea to shining sea. He didn't put his sword down for 40 years, and after 40 years, there was only 10 million left. 10 years after that, that was only 5 million. 10 years after that, there was 2. Now they're putting them on reservations today. Okay? So whenever the fuck you get done, this is atrocity. This is what genocidal atrocity is all about. Okay? Of manifest destiny in the name of Jesus Christ. Of that these Edomites that justify their wickedness and what they've done to the children of Israel. Right? Behold, I will raise them out of the place whither you have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head. And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabians, to a people afar off, for the Lord has spoken it. So you motherfuckers better get ready to go into slavery, like I showed you in the book of Psalms. Okay, let's go get it, just in case I don't remember I had done that. Okay, the book of Psalms, chapter 149, verse 6. Let the high praises of the Most High God, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, be in their mouth, and a two-edged sword in their hand, to execute vengeance upon the heathen, and punishments upon the people, to bind their kings with chains, and their nobles with fetters of iron, to execute upon them this judgment written, this honor have all his saints, praise ye the Lord. Okay? And who has this? The saints be joyful in glory, let them sing up aloud upon their beds. Right? For the Lord taketh pleasure in his people. He will beautify the meek with salvation. Who are them? The children of Zion. Zion is the memorial of Israel. See? So, yeah, you motherfuckers got to pay for it, man. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Bull, you can cry, bitch, whine. No, that was a long time ago. That was my great-great-great-grandpappy. Got something for that shit. Let's go over here to the book of Ecclesiasticus. Before this damn video, I run out of space. Come on, man. Do what I tell you. Okay. Okay. Let's go. Okay. That was a good one. Let's start at Numbers 24. Numbers 24 and, damn, I can't remember. 24 and 20, I think it was. I can't remember. Oh, come on, man. Really? This goddamn thing, man. See? All right. Numbers 24 and 20. Okay. Okay. Numbers 24. Okay. Numbers 24, verse 17. I shall see him, but not now. I shall behold him, but not nigh. There shall come a star out of Jacob, and a scepter shall rise out of Israel. That star and that scepter is Yahushai. Okay? The Son of the Most High, whom you call Jesus Christ. And shall smite the corners of Moab, and destroy all the children of Sheth. That goes into the book of Ecclesiastes, 2nd Ezra, chapter 13, verses 4 through 11, where the Son of the Most High God, the Son of the Almighty, comes back through the clouds on a chariot to destroy all of them with laser beams. Okay? No, you don't want to believe that, but whether you want to believe it or not, it's a fact. Okay? Look at that. The phone had a chime on that one. Okay? And Edom shall be a possession. Seir also shall be a possession for his enemies, and Israel shall do valiantly. So when we become, like it says in Isaiah 59 and 19, when the enemy shall come in like a flood, okay, let's go there. Let's go get Isaiah 59, okay, and 19. Let's start at verse 18. According to their deeds, accordingly he will repay fury to his adversaries, recompense to his enemies. To the islands he will recompense. So wherever the children of Israel have been scattered, to the islands and to the different nationalities, different nations across the world, okay, the Most High is going to pay back all of those that took us into slavery and refused to let us go to this day, like it says in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, verse 33. Okay? Real shit. These devils got a lot to pay for. There's not enough of them bastards on the face of the earth to pay for it. Okay? Verse 19, so shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. That standard is spiritual power. Let's go get it. Okay? This is how the Israelites shall do valiantly. Okay? Lift up a standard. Let's get it. Noose.
Strong's H 5127. Noose. Noose.
Right? Remember Micah chapter 2, verse 3. Behold, against this family. Right? What was it? Damn, I could better go get that one then. Behold, against this family. Where is it at? Micah? Yep. Micah 2 and 3. Right? Therefore, thus saith the Lord, behold, against this family do I devise an evil from which ye shall not remove your necks. Noose. Noose. Right? What is a noose? Right? Now, the standard is to flee, to escape, to take flight, to depart, to disappear, to fly. Ooh, to fly. To the attack on horseback with power, to drive at. Right? Okay, what is that one? One shall chase 1,000. Hold on. One shall chase 1,000. Boom. Chase 1,000. Okay, I'll just do it. What the hell, man? I'm tripping. Okay. One man of you shall chase 1,000 for the Lord your God, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. He it is that fighteth for you as he hath promised you. Okay? You Joshua, you know. All right. One man of you shall chase 1,000. And 10 shall put 10,000 to flight. 10,000 to flight. Let me see if I can find that. 10,000 to flight. Okay. Leviticus chapter 26, verse 8. And 5 of you shall chase 100, and 100 of you shall put 10,000 to flight, and your enemies shall fall before you by the sword. How should one chase, Deuteronomy 32 and 30, how should one chase 1,000 and 2 put 10,000 to flight, except their rock had sold them and the Lord had shut them up? So the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai took spiritual power from us gradually over the years, over the decades, over the centuries, making us weaker and weaker and weaker the more we disobey the Most High God, worshiping false gods and idols, being Hellenized, forced to do so by the force of the sword, by our oppressors in the lands in which we've been scattered to. We became weaker and weaker and weaker, physically, mentally, and spiritually. Okay? That's how he did it. Other than that, back then, yeah, 2 of us, we're going to kick 10,000 motherfuckers to death. No problem. Wouldn't even break a sweat. Alrighty? So this is the standard that the Most High was referring to. So that they shall fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. Right? And the Redeemer, who is Yahweh Shai, the Messiah, shall come to Zion, and unto them that turn from transgression, which is sin, in Jacob. Jacob is Israel, saith the Lord. Okay? So, the Most High is going to lift up a standard against these devils. Okay? Now let's go back to, where was I at? Numbers? Okay? I was at Numbers 24 and 18, right? And Edom shall be a possession, Seir also shall be a possession for his enemies, and Israel shall do valiantly. So that's how we're going to do valiantly. And Edom, okay, out of Jacob shall come he that shall have dominion, and he shall destroy him that remaineth of the city. Right? That goes off into Isaiah chapter 14, verses 21. Okay, let's go get that. Isaiah 14, 21. Right? Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. For I will rise up against them, saith the Lord of hosts, and cut off from Babylon, America, the name, the remnant, the son, and nephew, saith the Lord. Okay? Now, going back over here, out of Jacob shall come he, Yahushua, Hamashiach, that shall have dominion, and shall destroy him that remaineth of the city. Right? And we can also go get Daniel chapter 7, verse 18. Right? But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever and ever. Right? So how are we going to take the kingdom? But the saints and believers of the Most High God, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, will receive the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever for all ages to come. Okay? See? Salakia. There it is right there. Daniel chapter 7 verse 26. But the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion and consume it and destroy it unto the end. And the kingdom and the dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominion shall serve and obey him. Okay? That's the end of the matter. Okay? So these devils are fucked, man. Okay? The Most High is going to send his saints to take the kingdom, right? Israel shall do valiantly, right? And when he looked on Amalek, he took up his parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations, but his latter end that shall be that he perish forever. Okay, so the Most High, then there you have the perpetual hatred that these devils have for Israelites. Okay?
That is the official position of the United States government. Not in 1865. Right now, in 2026. That is not a slip. That is not one bad diplomat. That is policy. And it is a policy with a history longer and more deliberate than most people know. Here is the playbook. Pay attention to how consistent this is. Slavery was legal at the time, so we owe nothing. That was Andrew Johnson's position in 1865 when he took the land back from 40,000 black families and handed it to the Confederates. That was 150 years ago. None of us alive are responsible. That was Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell. On record, in 2019, we already handled it. The Civil War, the Civil Rights Movement. That was the unofficial position of every Congress that led H.R. 40. That was Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell. On record, in 2019, we already handled it.
See? McConnell opposes paying reparations. None of us currently living are responsible for slavery. Right? Hold on. Let me go get it. Let me go get me one more biblical scripture. You lying snake, you a goddamn lie. Yep, you finna pay for it, punk. Ecclesiasticus, the book of Sirach, chapter 41, verse 6. The inheritance of sinners' children shall perish, and their posterity shall have a perpetual reproach. Right? What is a perpetual reproach? Okay? Shame. The children will complain of an ungodly father because they shall be reproached for his sake. Right? Now, let's go get reproached. Okay, definition. Reproach is the act of expressing disapproval, disappointment, or criticism towards someone, offering to shame or blame them for a fault. It functions as both a verb to blame and a noun, the criticism itself or the shame caused. Okay? They're ashamed. Okay? These devils think that they are above or beyond reproach for what their forefathers have done to them. They're done to us. Okay? Synonyms of reproach: rebuke, sharp, stern disapproval; reprove, mild corrective criticism; upbraid, to blame severely; censure, official or strong condemnation; Scold or chide, harsh, irritating rebuke, blame, reproof, shame. Okay? That's reproach. Alrighty? The children will complain of an ungodly father because they shall be reproached for his sake. Woe unto you, ungodly men, which have forsaken the law of the Most High God, for if ye increase, it shall be to your destruction. And if ye be born, ye shall be born to a curse, and if ye die, a curse shall be your portion. All that are of the earth shall turn to earth again, so the ungodly shall go from a curse to destruction. Okay? So the Most High looks at Esau, Edom as the wicked, the ungodly. The Most High chose the godly and the righteous, who are the Israelites, above the ungodly and the wicked, who are the Edomites and the heathen nations that took us into indentured servitude and slavery. Well, not even indentured servitude, because indentured servitude means that you work for a wage. Indentured servitude is just another name for employee. Okay? Goddamn devils, man.
The Civil War, the Civil Rights Movement. That was the unofficial position of every Congress that let H.R. 40 sit in a drawer for 36 years without a single floor vote. We don't recognize reparations liability for acts that weren't illegal under international law at the time.
Okay? That's perpetual hatred, man. That's perpetual hatred, man. Now you know what a perpetual hatred. We went through the whole thing in order to get the perpetual hatred, man. Check this out. Hold on, let me see. Let's go get it. Where was it at? It was in Ezekiel, right? Chapter 35, verse 10. Check this shit out. Right? Because thou hast said, these two nations and these two countries shall be mine, and we will possess it, whereas the Lord was there. You see? So when we first came over here in 1619 on the good ship Jesus, slave ship, okay, in chains and yokes and fetters of iron around our neck and hands and feet. Wow, I didn't think about that. Let's show you what a yoke of iron looks like. All right, boom. Yoke of iron, right? Yoke of iron, right? Boom. Images, right? Boom. Who's in this yoke of iron? Who's in this yoke of iron, people? They're trying to take pictures out. Look. See, come on, man. Come on, man. Yoke of iron, man. Yoke of iron, man. Come on now. Deuteronomy 28 and 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. Okay? Hold on. Let's keep going. Yoke of iron. Yoke of iron. July the 4th, 1776, right? 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 Check this out. Colossians 2 and 8. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after the Messiah. 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 19. While they promise them liberty, they themselves are the servants of corruption. For of whom a man is overcome, of the same is he brought in bondage. Right? Yoke of iron. Come on, man. Right? Black Hebrews, so-called black Hebrews. Is there white Hebrew? Yeah. Esau Edom is also a Hebrew because he comes from the bloodline of Isaac, who was the son of Abraham. Okay? And Abraham comes from the land of Eber, from the land of of the Chaldees, the city of Eber. Okay? Which the translation of Eber is Hebrew. That's where the word Hebrew comes from Abraham coming from Eber, okay, which is his forefather, Abraham's forefather, Eber. That's where the word Hebrew comes from, okay. So Esau Edom, the so-called white man, okay, is also a Hebrew, but he is an Hebrew Edomite. The people in the narrative of the Bible says the Hebrew Israelites shall take the kingdom. The Hebrew Israelites shall receive the kingdom and dominion forever and ever unto all ages to come. Okay? not the Edomites. The Edomites are going to go into continual employment, burying all the bodies. Okay? Now, let's go over here to, where is it? Dung upon the earth. Boom. Damn it. Come on now, go. You gonna go? Not gonna go. Dung upon the earth. Okay. Not gonna go. Wow. Wow, that's fucked up. Okay. Let's go over here to this book then. Okay. And I will do this. Dung upon the earth. Boom. Right? Jeremiah chapter 16, verse 4. They shall die grievous deaths. They shall not be lamented, neither shall they be buried, but they shall be as dung upon the face of the earth. And they shall be consumed by the sword and by famine, and their carcasses shall be meat for the fowls of heaven and for the beasts of the earth. And that's what happened to us. Right? And the slain of the Lord shall be at that time from one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth. They shall not be lamented, nor gathered, nor buried. They shall be dung upon the ground. And those are the heathen nations that in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 39, are going to be hired in continual employment, burying the bones of the dead that fought against the Most High God. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. Right? Zephaniah 1:17, I will bring distress upon men, and that they shall walk like blind men, because they have sinned against the Lord, and their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as the dung. Okay? So, yeah, these devils are done. They're finished. Okay? Now, I don't remember telling you about continual employment, but I'm going to get off this video. It's been on here for an hour and so. Okay.
That was Dan Negrea at the United Nations this week. Different decade, different face, same answer. Every single version of that excuse has one purpose: protect the money. And we are going to walk through exactly how much money that is, and exactly who else got paid while black people kept getting told to wait.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get off this video. You can go and watch this video yourself. I think I showed you in many of the captions where to go look. Like I said before, this video is based on fair use. Fair use. This video is for criticism. Clearly, you heard biblical criticism. You heard also educational purposes. Okay, only. That's all it's about. And to notify people what's going on. Shalom.